Morning everyone, welcome to Nat's Knackers Yard. Kind of a midweek update, I suppose. I'm remembering not to shout because my microphone crackles when I shout. This is kind of a post-birthday return to reality. They've got to do things like go to work. But just a couple of things to go through, I think. First of all, the near miss yesterday, and for those that haven't seen yesterday, for those that haven't seen it, I'll drop in like a condensed version just here. You Jesus Christ. Yeah, so a little bit of a wake-up call. I've not had a near miss for a little while actually, and I've generally credited it to the fact that I got to be a better rider. Preempt things a bit more. He says he nearly gets cut off there. It's a blind corner, there's no way the dude could know I was there. Yeah, so what? And I said it at the end of the video at the time that there's no point getting too het up about it. It's annoying at the time because hey, it nearly fucking kills you. Well, it certainly nearly knocks you off. But you know, drivers just quite often don't see you. The whole Smidsy, sorry mate, I didn't see you. It's irritating at the time. You have a quick vent and you move on. Nobody is trying to kill you. It's just sometimes people are a little bit oblivious, and you just need to be aware that there are other road users, and some of them have their heads up their arse. Some of them are downright dangerous. Most of them are just trying to get somewhere. And all of them, or none of them I should say, want it on their conscience that they've injured a biker. So, yeah, there's no malintent there, it's just one of those things. We share the roads. Sometimes we will try and share the same piece at the same time. Yeah, and moving on, and it's a kind of reaction to the rest of the video actually, and a couple of people have made comments either both on the video and on the Facebook channel. By Facebook channel, I'm talking about the Motorcycle Rescuer Facebook group, which if you're not on, look it up. A bunch of good people and a great forum to chat, all very friendly. And nobody's throwing up stupid ads to porn sites or slagging each other off. No, I tell a lie, we are slagging each other off, but it's done in good banterous fashion. And it's all good fun. And that's, what do you actually want in that? What bike do you want? And I don't know, so I'm kind of eliciting some support here, and it might actually be on my last upload actually, where it's been suggested that I ask you guys, and actually it's a bloody good idea, because you've all either got bikes, had bikes, looking at bikes, you know, some might be better than others, you might have some advice of things to steer away from, but it kind of, you know, the great question is, what are you looking for? I don't know. What criteria are you looking against? That I do know, I think. So what am I after? As you see from this, and most of my vlogging videos, most of my riding is commuting. I don't do long hauls. I don't do touring yet. I'd love to give it a go, but it's not a criteria that I'll be searching for in a bike. What I'm looking for is something to commute on. let's break that down a little bit. Something to commute on. Well, I don't work in central London at the moment. Come the summer I will. ULEZ has pretty much destroyed the market for anything, sorry, the ULEZ, the ultra low emission zone. Are you going to pick a lane or are you going to go for both? Prick. The ultra low emission zone has pretty much, well, it hasn't put pay to any older bikes, but it makes it fucking difficult, frankly. And for those unaware, the ultra low emission zone is based on the nitrous oxide levels, emissions of your bike, none of the other crap that it pushes out, but your bike, your vehicle, because it's cars, trucks and everything else. And in broad brush, most bike manufacturers were, it wasn't a statute before 2003, however, a lot of bike manufacturers were listing it. I can't see my sudden neutral light with my thingy there we go. Most manufacturers weren't measuring it pre 2001. So 2000 was a little super light, I quite like this. Most bike manufacturers, etc. So 2007 is the benchmark where they had to do it, off the top of my head. 2003 is when many were doing it. Anything before that could be ULEZ compliant without you touching it, and you can get a certificate of conformity by writing to the manufacturer saying, here's my vehicle details, can I get a certificate of conformity? And they'll either say yes, give us 50 quid and we'll print it out, words to that effect, or they'll say no, it wasn't tested at the time, we can't do that. Which then means if you're after getting your bike ULEZ compliant, it is still possible. You take it to Riverbank Garage and they'll charge you an arm and a leg to make it ULEZ compliant. I say an arm and a leg, I'm not digging at the guys. It is financially worth it, because I think £12.50ish, £12.50 a day, and by a day that's up till midnight, not a 24-hour period of doing it. Then you soon get your money back if you are a regular London rider. So what? I need something, you know, no older than 2003, ideally no older than 2007, for that whole ULEZ compliancy piece. Yes, I could get an older bike and I could make it ULEZ like I did with Beast, but I think this time round I'd rather something that period. So what, following that train of thought, that means that if you're looking 2007 onwards, it's probably not carburetted, it's probably fuel injected. I've never had a fuel injected bike, but lower maintenance, etc. That also means that the whole E10 palaver doesn't exist if it's fuel, well, exists less if it's a fuel injected bike. So you know, you're probably looking 2007, you're probably looking fuel injected, which is therefore lower maintenance. Maintenance wise, this is going to sound stupid considering how much time I spend in my garage, and indeed how much time you guys spend watching me in my garage. Believe me, those figures don't match. Somebody said, oh, looking forward to a longer video next time. I spend fucking hours on a 20-minute upload. You do not want to watch what I'm doing live. Half the time for me is dull, for you guys it would be fucking purgatory, and it would delay me even more because I'd be pissing around with camera angles and things like that all the time. Easy, man. Yeah, so maintenance wise, it needs to be low maintenance. if you want to know why, check out a mechanic's car or a builder's house. You always think, oh, it must be brilliant. They're not. You do, you bellend. There's always some dick that decides to do a U-turn in the middle of an A road. Pillock. And I'm not saying I'm a professional or anything like that, but anyone that, you know, anyone that works, anyone that spends a long time doing something does not want to spend their spare time doing the same thing. So consequently, and I've commented particularly on, you know, the likes of my diversion day, my own bike, my daily commute, is generally the most neglected bike in my garage, because that's not what I got it for. It's not a plaything, it's a functional thing. It has a job to do. So I'd like it, you know, pretty low maintenance / minimum maintenance / no maintenance ideally. Yeah, so fuel injection is probably a good idea because it's just less pissing around with it. You could also argue that a shaft drive is probably better because it's less maintenance than chains, or a belt drive because it's kind of in the middle. Yeah, they both trade off against performance, but frankly, I'm riding it to work. I'm not taking it to track days. Yeah. So the unfortunate bit is, so far that list now sounds really boring. Get a scooter nut, probably the best thing I could do. But then it starts hitting on my other piece. It just needs to be a little bit different. And because I love bikes so much, it needs to be something that I form a bond with, something that I have an affection with, and it needs to be a bit different to earn that. That's not saying I would never own a scooter. People have said before, oh, well, you've never ridden a Bergman 600. No, you haven't. No, I haven't, sorry. But it's like saying, you know, I'm not a car person, I don't like cars, but if you give me a fucking Lamborghini Diablo tomorrow, I'd love you forever. You know, it's an invalid argument, I think. So it needs to be something a little bit different. Not ridiculously different, but something different. So what, you know, the ideal for me is probably a Bandit 600, but they're just so generic, there's so many of them, it's just so middle of the road. Yeah, I've never ridden a Bandit. I might love it when I sit on one, but they're just a little bit vanilla, I suppose. Ditto with the R5s, ditto with the R6s. You know, they're just a bit dull, frankly. So I apologise if any of you own any of those and you're going to get all defensive in the comments, etc. They're just a little bit generic. What else do I need? Well, some height would be nice, a bit of clearance so I can see traffic for commuting. Possibly, that doesn't mean no cruisers, but possibly a bit of height. I have had a suggestion from Dan about a Enfield Himalayan, nice and high. Yeah, the problem I have with Enfield, well, not with Enfield, sorry, no, with adventure bikes, is to me they're the two-wheeled equivalents of a Land Rover, you know, of a Chelsea tractor. You know, they're built for a purpose, and 98% of the people that own them never use them for that purpose. And I kind of get that same feeling with adventure bikes. It's this thing, you know, it's a knobbly tiles in the middle of a city thing. It just seems a little bit oxymoronic. Yeah. So what? I don't know. Give me some suggestions, people. I need something that's commutable, not necessarily a commuter bike. I can't see my fucking neutral light, it's too bright. Fuck it. Yeah, something that's commutable, but not necessarily a commuter bike. Something that is fun, but isn't going to kill me. Something that's definitely ULEZ'd, so therefore probably quite new and therefore lower maintenance. Dunno. It's a tricky list, chaps. What do you reckon? Right, little update. Cheers all. Catch you later.